think you have more littering in Port Harcourt? Is it in the urban centers? That would be your Port Harcourt local government, your Obiakpo, maybe your maybe. Do we say MOR? Because MOR is not too far from Port Harcourt. Just once you just cross Choba Bridge, bam, you're in MOR. So but if you're going to Onega is a bit farther away, So yeah. Where do you think there's more littering? And let's even make it general all across the country. Where do you think you have more littering? Urban centers or in the rural areas? Now, I think it's in the urban centers. But, some people have been speaking to me over the past few days of the opinion that it might actually be the same. So here goes. A, is it more in the urban center? You say yes or no. Or if you think they're the same, and why you think it is either more or less or the same. That's our conversation. As always, please turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. All right, this CO here, do not make mention of it, please, and do keep your comments civil.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
And now, hello Port Harcourt with Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
So 017-923-0003, 0817923-0002. WhatsApp is 08090306416, 08090306416. And then take a stroll down social media as you'll find us at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH. Michael is our first caller. He's listening to us, or speaking to us rather, from Burukiri. Good morning to you, Michael.
Yes, Jude, you are correct. I'm listening and I'm also speaking.
Good morning.
I'm doing both, yes. Jude, but your answers are not, to me, it's not complete to at least A, urban, B,
rural.
Rural. C should be maybe all of the above. D, none of the above.
That's why I asked. If you think they are the same, that's why I think that's.
I cannot give you a very logical answer because I have not been to the 23 LGs. You understand me? I have not been. There are some LGs I have not been to, and even though I have been to some LGs, I have not been to everywhere in the LG. So true. I cannot say for sure. It won't be logical for me to say it is urban or rural. But I can speak from my immediate, I can speak from the point of Faga, because I've been to most parts of Faga. I've driven to most parts of Faga. So I can talk from my own point of view. To me, the villages will be easier to be kept clean than the rural areas. Because at our villages, the CDC operates stronger. As in, they carry out their instructions. The chief carry out the people responsible for those things implement it to the latter. But in this urban area, big man, they don't do big, they don't see. People tend not to do their job very well. Like this area of Buruki where we live now, we have a CDC, but they don't really care. They don't do their job very well. But I bet you, if it were to be my community, my village, the CDC chairman would ensure the place kept clean. So to me, the rural areas, the urban areas. The urban areas are dirtier.
Okay, so there's more littering. The littering problem is higher in the urban center.
Yes, in the urban centers, yes, because of failure of government regulatory agents to do their job.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Michael from Burukiri says, well, he's of the opinion that maybe it is the urban centers. That would be where we are, for example, where we are broadcasting from, live from the city of Port Harcourt, right? That's where you probably have the most dirt. Good morning, Jude. It's a very tricky one because I've been to some rural areas in River State, and my goodness, the amount of dirt there is just terrible. And the reason why I think is that because unlike Port Harcourt City, where you have the trucks coming in to come and carry people's dirt, in the villages they do not. Everybody just wakes up, pours it in one part of the community, and after a while it starts to spread. If you doubt me, take a drive right now, Jude, to even Bonema. You see along the waterways, people are throwing their trash right into the waterways. What do you expect them to do? There is no government presence in those areas. So for me, it is the rural areas where you have more littering and more dirt. Ibiso, speaking to us from Audley Road. Ibiso, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
I go with Michael. Now, if you go to this village, how many people consume what they are consuming in Port Harcourt? The Port Harcourt are not there for. I like you because you like taking a walk without telling anybody, and you compare it by yourself. I used to tell you about this Amadi River. Even I drop my call, I will send you either a picture or a video of the river, how you see how the place is. So to me, the city is more dirtier than the village, because there in the village, they consume a little things and they manage how they do it, and the CDC is there. They are working well. Here in Port Harcourt, you see that some people, as they are moving,
they just throw it everything.
Bring out a bag of their dirty and just throw it along the road. So now, Jude, let me just even go this way. Mother heads will be coming very soon to for our annoyance to the masses, because they are pouring things in the gutter, and now the flood is coming. So you see that once such things like that start, people will cry because mother head is angry. So to me, the city is more dirty than the rural areas. I'll send the picture now for you to see.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. But the message I read, the person said, look, if you go to the rural areas, they don't have the evacuating protocol like we do have here in the city. Talking about the waste management authority coming through, taking over you're picking up your trash, unfortunately, from the median of the roads. But in those areas, and she says, I've not been to Abundant in a long time, but I know where this person is talking about. So when you're getting through the waterway, you get to see some of the local toilets, right? And if what she's saying is true, that sometimes people just throw their dirt right there. They don't have any other option. There's no other place to do so. You don't have receptacle. Well, let me not speak for Bonima, because I'm only reading what this person said. I cannot say for sure, but yes, I understand that narrative. This one says, "Good morning, Jude. Please, can we talk about waste? That's dirty to wealth. That's waste to wealth. Focus on LGA. All right, it's going to be an eye opener for us, for us, and the opportunities are enormous." I think there was somebody who was into that. We've had a few people join us in the studio talking about waste to wealth. I remember even interviewing a young man. Was he primary school, secondary school that time? Built an app, goes around with his father, to pick up trash. Right? I remember. Well, thank you very much. It's something that we can revisit. I think, in all honesty, we ought to revisit. Right? We really ought to revisit. So we'll go for a break. Break coming up in just under 25 seconds. Where do you have much? Where do you think? If you're just joining us, I have a very simple vox pop for you this morning. Now, it's all about littering, and there's nothing I'm going to say that's new to you when it concerns how dirty a lot of places are, in particular in this Port Harcourt, are. Yes, it's not news. You see it every day. You are guilty. I am guilty. We walk around, and then, your favorite rapper from your favorite rap from your favorite, snack or whatever, you toss it. Sometimes I hold myself, right? I see myself, I carry those, well, I know some of my neighbors think I'm weird, but sometimes I carry my trash, I walk all the way away from my house. My trash is pretty small because, it's small. How many people in my house? Just me. So it's a small bag. Take it away. Far away. I see some people around my area just come out from their house, just keep it at the side. Then the wind blows, water will come through, it scatters all over the place. Well, later in the taxi, in fact, some of you in your as you take your rides, it's just finished drinking the water. Next thing you cock it. I like the way some of you you put the cover back, and then you throw it with elegance. Useless empty bottle that's finished. You throw it. Now it leads, obviously everybody knows, to the drainage is being blocked. But what about the rural centers? Because they will also generate waste. Whether we like it or not, a lot of the manufactured products still gets to find their way to the rural centers. So from to drinks, processed foods, baked goods, you name it. They have to be carried or filtered through in packages. So what happens to the waste that they generate? Now, some say that it's actually worse over there because government, particularly in River State, doesn't have, vehicles like they have the trucks here to go to those places. Please help me if I'm wrong. All right. Are there vehicles that come to Abonima or to Degema to carry their trash? Or is there any truck that gets all the way to maybe Chokocho or maybe Abara? All right, please, we're having an honest conversation here because you have trash generated in those areas. So what happens to them? What happens? That's the big question. Let's get to hear from you. All right, so 0809-030-6416 is where you find us. 0809-030-6416. All right, 0809-030-6416. All right, at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH. We're back right after the headline news.
Headline news, Nigeria Info on
92.3.
top of the hour, and that means we have exactly 21 minutes, just under 21 minutes, to have a conversation with you. Now, straight to the phone lines: 08179230002, 08179230003, 08179230002, 08179230003. As always, turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see or hear, please do not make mention of it. And very importantly, please do keep your conversations civil.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
And now, hello Port Harcourt with Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
Oh, Zion's on the line and speaking to us from GRA. Good morning to you, Zion.
Yeah, Jude, good morning.
Good morning.
The waste from the urban and the one from the interiors. Those that are from the interiors are biodegradables.
Okay.
The only challenge they have is the sachet water. Which has been transported to them.
Okay.
That's the only problem they have.
Okay.
And even if you look at it, they have a way of dealing with it. They set them ablaze. Every community has a dump site for waste, local dump site. It will start from family by family before the community. Some of them, they call them borrow pit. Some of them, they throw them into the river. Of course, those ones will go down to the ocean. But look at us from the city now. We cannot decompose them in that manner. What do? We send them to receptacles. And most of these receptacles, where will they find themselves? To the gutters, which will formally block. And look at the problem. And the amount of waste being generated in the city, you can't equate it in the village or in the rural areas. A day, Port Harcourt can consume nothing less than 2 million sachet water. A day. How many will a village consume? Highest, 100 or 200. And don't forget, it's not all of them that even depend on the sachet water. They have their source water. That is why, to a large extent, when the government keep parading themselves in the name of climate change, we are traveling abroad, go do COP24 and this and that. I just look at that, they don't even know what they are doing. The first means to deal with what we call environmental change or global warming on how to tackle it is to provide water, so that we can be able to deal with this issue of insolubles like the sachet water, the plastic bottle, whatever we use for water, that has become a problem and nemesis to us. Number two, you have to dredge the rivers, the lakes, and the canals. If you can tackle this from this part of the world to a large extent, you start handling this issue of climate change. Do you know that today, even our rivers are so hot because of the sun? And fishes can no longer exist.
It's rising temperature.
After some environments, they can't even see these crawling things we normally eat, which we call the ingolos, you can't even find them because of the heat is too much. Our rivers are shallow. Then rivers are so deep. When the sun is high, the fish and these creeping things
just go down
to the seabed.
All right.
That is nature for you. So we from the city, we generate waste. We should leave those from the interior alone. They have their own problem. We should not go and add our own to them.
Hector in Ogbogoro. Hector, do you concur with the last caller and the messages I read earlier on? Good morning to you. Hector? Hector, good morning. Hector from Ogbogoro, good morning, please. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Peter.
Hello. Go on, please.
We have more situation in the urban area because there are more people in the urban area compared to the rural areas. More activities, more commercial activities in the urban area than the rural areas. Like I'm from the rural area, my community, Tumbia, where I come from, the recyclement, they do throw their waste at the waterfront, and then the water will now take it to the sea, to the Atlantic Ocean, and also to the mangrove forest. Although it has not needed good impact on the water, and the water animals is suffering from it. But when it comes to the urban areas, where a lot of commercial activities takes place, more population, I think the government is not trying in the area of resettlement. Maybe since they always travel to other countries, they should learn, and bring in good ideas how advanced countries, recycle their waste and how it can generate money, revenues. I think these are some of the things that our leaders who travel a lot should bring home, so that there will be new change in the system. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Hector, speaking to us from Ogbogoro. All right, let's get to the messages. Just thank you very much. You sent me a video, in fact, 2 videos. One showing the Amadi Creek by LNG. It is dirty. Oh my God, the water is. Yeah, apart from the fact that it's meant to be brackish, brackish. That's BRACKISH. All right, the color is. I can see all the plastic. I can see everything on top of the water. Oh, even oh my goodness, terrible. Oh, that's terrible. Okay. Michael says, if you're talking about throwing waste into the river, like in the case of Abonima, don't we have the same happening in Port Harcourt, like at my side of New Road, Borokiri? The urban areas are better to clean up because everyone knows everyone. You can't see some drive and throw away refuse from his car, a driver without being spotted at his house. With stronger CDC on ground to enforce the bylaws of the community, we don't necessarily need refuse disposable trucks to keep the community clean. Michael is saying from Borokiri. All right, thank you very much, Michael. Good morning, Jude. I think the urban centers obviously make more waste because you have more people, but there's a very big factor here that a lot of people don't pay attention to. Now, those waste that we all throw, where do you think they go to? It's not to the creeks, it's not to the waterways. Who are the people who live in the waterways? It's the rural people. There's a very strong chance that your pure water sachet, your empty bottles that you've thrown, find their way into these homes, into the creeks of these villagers, and they are now left. They are now left to deal with the trash that you made. So for me, it is both places have a littering problem. That's an interesting take. Let's be honest, a lot of us here in Port Harcourt, you and I, we probably don't quite care where the waste is, our drains, drain to. Our sewers, we don't really care. Yes, they're draining to one river, but along the banks of the river, that's where the rural people stay. That's where they live. I'm raising my hand up right now. I'm going to admit, up until I read this message, I have not thought about it that way. Honestly, I haven't. And it makes a lot of sense. It truly makes a lot of sense. the waste that we generate most likely will be finding its way to the creeks, to the river, to the water bodies, and to the rural centers. Anyway, Ibiso says, the solution, let the government bring trawlers so that they can be using their nets to pack this refuse from the sea, like the pictures that are sent to you. Some guys are putting on white cover, or I can't see them, and they're working with energy. They used to pack the refuse close to the jetty so that the thing will not affect their engines. Thank you very much. Well, maybe that's for their own engine's sake. I'm not quite sure if it's because of the environment per se. All right, at Nigeriainfo PH, is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo PH. The littering scourge challenges. I'm asking, where do you think you are more littering, rural or urban, and why? Whatever your answers are or is, why? Why do you think one area has more? Or like someone said, well, both of them. And I feel very bad just having this conversation because I've never thought about it. Every year you keep hearing people, government come and do gutter, government come and do drainage, but how many of you actually ask, where do these drainages lead to? Is to carry the water away to the river, but the river that you're asking these drains to flow into, where do they exit? They have to pour into somewhere. Water has to find its level. Where do they pass through? The communities that are going to be affected, do you even consider? Do you even know? I'm not trying to guilt trip anybody. I'm just saying I've never thought about it until today when I read that message. Never thought about it. Maybe it's something that town planners and the government should also be considerate of, right? 017-923-0002, 017-923-0003, 017-923-0002, 017-923-0003. At Nigeriainfo PH, is where you find us on Facebook and on X, and I get to read messages on 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. Please don't call. That number is strictly for the reception of messages. 009-030-6416, 009-030-6416. Urban areas are more littered, Jude. The rural areas don't bag their waste. most of their waste just gets decomposed. Just, it's open. Just they find a way to just decompose it. It's not a lot. It's not that bad. Good morning, Jude. A lot of people actually know the truth, and that is we in the urban centers, we are not clean people. Let's be honest. People throw their trash everywhere, and it all comes down to the way the government responds to these issues. If people start to get punished, if consumers, that would be you and me, pay a little extra for all the way that we treat the bottles, if the manufacturers themselves are being made by the government to carry their own waste, then we won't have a lot of these problems. The urban centers are the major polluters, in this country. The urban center, major polluters in the area. You agree? Phone lines now: 017-923-0002, 0817923-0003, 0817923-0002, 0817923-0003. All right, at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X, at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. We're talking about littering. All right, Mark Ritchie on Facebook says, I don't know about other local governments when it comes to but when it comes to mine, it's cleaner than most urban places, mostly in these Port Harcourt. Mark, what's your area? Right, and I don't doubt you. I'm very sure a lot of rural areas are likely cleaner than where I am right now. So nobody. Ibisa says, Jude, if everybody's paying for their refuse, and they are using, if everybody pays for the refuse that they are using, they will sit up like in Lagos, every street, every house, before their refuse. No one is pay for their refuse, right? No one is exempted. All right, thank you. No one is exempted. Good morning, Jude. The urban centers obviously create more debt. You have more people, you have more factories, more industry, more businesses, and most importantly, more infrastructure. The heat alone that we generate is enough to have more people demand more water from sachet, aka pure water. Has a point here. Has a point. Thank you very much, Ike. That's a very good point. The heat alone, will make more people, consume more water. It's little wonder why everywhere you go to, and I mean everywhere you go to in Port Harcourt, everywhere you go to in Port Harcourt, you will find sachet wraps or water sachets on the ground everywhere. Yeah, some places are cleaner, but let's look at those very clean estates, right? They may be clean, within their walls, but just step outside. Just step outside. You'd be amazed at what you find. So yeah, maybe the urban places, get to generate more waste. And I think it's even cruel that the waste is now transferred to the rural centers. But that's the way apparently it is. Good morning, Jude. A lot of people know that they are the very dirty ones in their houses, but they keep coming around to shout government because most government do everything. Can't we just keep our places clean? Well, being clean, is it's up to you. Literally, it's up to you. You decide. What exactly do you think is going to make you a cleaner person? Do we need more taxation? Do we need more people to flog your head? Anyway, well, before I step out, I forgot to make mention of this yesterday, and I'm going to say it today. So it's very obvious that Arsenal, have like a 5.523% chance of winning the EPL. I've been seeing videos and comments on social media talking about the conspiracy theories that the Tottenham players, played that way so that Arsenal will not win. Interestingly enough, yesterday I was watching television on Sky Sports News, right? The poll that they carried out stated that about 54% of Tottenham fans would prefer to lose the Man City than to make Arsenal win the title. It's amazing what, rivalries, bring out. And sadly, it's at the cost of European Championship football. Talking about Champions League next year, for next season. The Champions League comes with more money. And with the new format, it's probably going to be a bit more balanced in its operation. But only time will tell. But yes, Man City, through the robot, through the cheat code called Erling Haaland, have literally one hand on that title. It's going to be 4 in the row. All the arguments have now come to fruition. In this studio, about 8 years ago, Ufuma Agbamono said that Pep Guardiola will turn the Premier League into a farmers' league. He would dominate it back to back to back to back. Ufuma is not here, but his prophecy has come true, it would seem. Well, still more drama to come through later on today, because Chelsea will be taking on Brighton, see if they're good for. And Manchester United will be facing Newcastle. Sorry, defender. The Sporting crew will come cookie, and Boardman in Nigeriainfo Sports Department will be here, and they'll be giving you the breakdown. Follow all for the news, for the commentary, everything you need. My name is Jude. Good morning.